What's up, everyone? What's up, beautiful humans? I think you guys liked the music intro last time. Welcome. Let me see if you had any questions here. We're going to be diving into the meta skill of alignment. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to be talking about it. But yeah, welcome. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you could hear my little hand pan sesh. That's actually called a RAV drum, R-A-V. You can find those RAV Vast, I think they're called. They're not necessarily considered actually a hand pan. They're a tongue drum, which I'll save that for another time. But it looks like someone was asking about that. So happy Love Day, happy Valentine's Day. Hopefully every day is Love Day for you to do something special for the ones that you love, or maybe just doing something special for yourself. But yeah, let's dive in. So first off, next Wednesday, we're going to be diving into this even more. I'm holding a 100% free workshop. I miss doing the free workshops with you all. It's my chance to just give as much as I can, because truly this information, this knowledge, all the stuff that I've experienced and I've found beneficial, it's worth just sharing it with the world. And that's been my journey. I can say that. I've watched other people, I've watched myself. When you learn something, especially if it's a value, you want to kind of just hold on to it and only share it with certain people. Just give it away. If you believe in reciprocity, life will reimburse you based on the value that you're providing to other people. So with that being said, as I continue this journey with, somatic breathwork being one of the things that the world was like, hey, we want more of this. I really dive into, okay, breathwork's not necessarily what it's about. It's one aspect of it. And on a physiological level, it's resetting your nervous system on a deep level. It's powerful. Everyone can do breath work. It's so accessible to anyone, and you can change your state at any time. But where I'm really fascinated is the relational dynamics between a practitioner and another person, and how to hold a space that is pristine. Right? That's the best word that I could say, holding pristine space for another person. So MetaSkills are really what I feel like I'm teaching more than anything. How to hold space for someone, how to attune to somebody, how to maintain alignment within yourself, how to develop capacity. And one of the processes in creating the curriculum for somatic breathwork was defining these different words, such as what is the actual application of holding space? What is the actual application of attuning and matching and amplifying someone in their expression? Those are the subtle yet masterful energetic skills that take a practitioner from being kind of cookie cutter and having your applied ways of working with people to developing your mastery. Now, I was just reading a very interesting study on what they call in, sorry, that's my screen turning off, what they call in kind of mainstream society as, okay, this person works in psychiatry, you would understand what this means. What does it mean when someone has good bedside manner? If someone's in ICU, if someone's in critical condition, what does it mean? Or say someone is just in the mental health system, what does it mean for someone to have good bedside manner? I was reading a study that said that over 50% of people in ICU or critical condition, if they had a practitioner or a doctor or a nurse that had a good bedside manner, over 50% of them actually got better just based on that. And if you've read Body Keeps the Score, you know that healing happens in the presence of an empathetic witness. What you could say that is like, this person is just able to be present with another person and actually give them love. Who knew that just being present with somebody, attuning to them, caring for them on a deep level is the thing that allowed them to get better. And we call this we call these soft skills. But over 50% of people are getting better because based upon someone's good bedside manner. So those are the subtle skills that require you to develop enough inner space within yourself, enough presence within yourself to be able to tune out the outside world and all the distractions, especially in a world that we're living in today where you have a million things pulling at your attention, which is like the greatest gift you could give somebody is your attention. That's your greatest resource you have is your attention. 100%. And to be able to maintain this aligned frame within yourself so that another person can co-regulate to you. I've talked a lot about co-regulation. Co-regulation is the way that my nervous system, my electrical bubble, is interacting with your nervous system in a way that can bring us both back into balance. When something really stressful goes on, like say there's an emergency and one person's freaking out and you are able to maintain a calm state, well, that person is going to co-regulate to you and is going to be able to relax themselves. If you start freaking out too, well, then you're both just going to, you're both going to go into a fight or flight state and not be able to think clearly and not be able to make clear decisions when you are in this really stressful state, in this emergency state. So what I call that is developing this mountain energy. Mountain energy is, if you think about a mountain is going to be the same no matter what weather is going on. If there's snow, if there's rain, if there's 115 degree weather outside, if there's lightning, if there's sleet, if there's hail, the mountain is not moving. It's right here. It's present. It's so calm, so grounded, so here with you. That's the basis on developing the meta skill of alignment. So let's dive a little bit deeper into it. Like I said, you can comment on this live. You can comment meta. If you want to get the link to sign up and register for the workshop, it's 100% free. Even if you're not a practitioner, it'll be good because you're actually a human. So these are human things that we're not necessarily taught. So let's dive into alignment a little bit. When I was developing these meta skills, and obviously meta skills are not necessarily a new thing. If you look up anywhere, you'll see meta skills, and everyone uses them in different contexts. But when I'm developing these meta skills for somatic breath work, the process of defining them and creating the pathway of how to develop them and what it looks like when these skills are developed and what it looks like when these skills are not developed. And what are the detriments when these skills are not developed? Well, with alignment, I was sitting with it in meditation for a while. And alignment, you could say, is a state, right? You're in alignment with yourself. You are in alignment with your path, your journey in the world. You're able to listen to the internal awarenesses, not just from your mind, but what's going on in your heart, what's going on in your emotional body, what's going on in your physical body. Awareness is one of the first things to develop. Awareness is the first step in healing anything. You can't do anything. You can't do anything if you're not aware of it. It's unconscious. It'll just be fate. You'll complete it over and over and over again. But if you think about alignment, let's just take example for the physical body. If you have good posture, you could say your body's aligned. If you have good posture, well, there's actually no such thing as the perfect posture, because life is dynamic. Life is movement. Your body moves. You are going to have somebody who's pushing you this way, and then you're going to have another thing that's happening over here. And like, life is a wave, and there's going to be stressors, there's going to be high moments, there's going to be low moments. There's no such thing as perfect posture when you are like fighting somebody, perhaps. Maybe that's not the best example. When you are doing complex movements such as playing basketball or running or trail running, or there are no straight lines in nature. It's an interesting thing to think about, and I was fascinated by this when I was kind of in my postural rehabilitation phase. And for those of you that don't know, I was a neuromuscular therapist for a long time, running an injury rehab center, aligning people's physical bodies. And if you hold yourself in this perfect posture all the time, well, you try to go do some dynamic movement and your body doesn't know it doesn't have any ability to bend and move. It's like the bamboo. It's not the most stiff and rigid person that is going to be able to flex and adapt. It's the person who is can flow in different ways and has the tools and skills to bring yourself back to center. That's the meta skill of alignment, is that you're going to be dealing with things in your life. If you are a practitioner, if you are, like I see a lot of people in the mental health field, if you are just in a relationship, obviously today is Valentine's Day. If you're in a relationship, like, you're gonna deal with stuff. You guys are gonna trigger each other, but can you bring yourself back? That is what alignment is. You're going to get off balance. Your nervous system is going to become dysregulated. You're going to be dealing with difficult clients, or you're going to be working with people that are sharing really heavy things to you. Are you able to bring yourself back to yourself? Are you able to recall your energy back to yourself? And let's go with, since it is Valentine's Day, let's talk about this in relationships. How many of you have ever felt like you've gotten enmeshed to another person, or you've lost yourself within another person? You've lost your ability to feel yourself within another person. Maybe for those of you that are practitioners, how many of you have felt like you've lost yourself within being with another person? Well, that happens. We get enmeshed. We lose our ability to align ourselves, to bring ourselves back into center, to remember who we are. Let me see here. Let me know if I'm making sense to you. What's up, Tiffany? Am I here? It says I lost. It says I lost connection. Okay, we're good. We're here. We're live. So, developing the meta skill of alignment. Alignment happens at the intersection of your intention and your attention, and also presence and congruence. And how to develop that is we first need to develop awareness of ourselves. if you joined, I don't know if Morgan and Adam did this morning, but we've done the somatic awareness practice multiple times. It is the foundation of everything, is to be able to know what's going on internally. Where are you at emotionally? What's going on in your own physical body? Because I actually can't fully connect with another person if I'm not connected to myself. If you think about all of the relationships that you have, whether they're romantic or whether they're platonic, whether they're with your friends, whether they're with people on Instagram, you actually can't truly connect with these people from a place of alignment within yourself if you're not connected to yourself. And it takes a tremendous amount of energy from your nervous system to hold up a disconnected version of yourself. Like, to maintain a relationship where you're not speaking and expressing your truth of what you're feeling internally, you're going to lose yourself. You're going to lose your alignment. And then on the other side of things, that person's actually not necessarily going to trust you. What happens, I've experienced this, I've been on both sides. I've been in a relationship, or I've been around people that aren't connected to themselves, and they're telling me everything that I want to hear. How many of you have been around other people that are telling you everything you want to hear, or they're curating themselves to, what they think that you're wanting, right? Yes, love Mark Rose. He's a good friend of mine. He's great. Highly recommend Mark Rose. And over time, that will create dis-ease within your body. If you are continuously trying to reach out and connect with other people or develop like a deep, solid romantic relationship with another person, and you're not connected to yourself, well, then it's going to drain your nervous system energy, because you've cut yourself off from being able to speak your truth and what your needs are. And so developing this meta skill of alignment to bring yourself back is one of the most important things. And it takes a tremendous amount of energy and commitment to really reconnecting your mind back to your body, because your body speaks slowly and it speaks softly. It's not going to speak over your mind. You will know when you're aligned. You will know because your body, like for me, we all have a different way of listening to this, you could call it intuition. What I call it is developing sensory awareness or sensitivity. It speaks from different places. Like for me, it's more in my solar plexus. For some people, it's in the heart. For some people, it's like an energetic shock through the spine. It's going to speak softly. It's going to speak clearly, and it's not going to take you through loops and tunnels and saying if I do this, then this is what this person will think of me, and then this will happen. And you'll know it's coming from your mind if it's sending you through loops and tunnels. And a lot of the time, we don't realize how much listening to our own alignment can sometimes be brutal. It can be brutal because sometimes it's not the thing that you think you want, but it's your truth inside. And you start to develop this skill to be able to tell other people how you are feeling and what's true for you, even though it might hurt them, even though it might cause a little bit of pain. And, when we get into the meta skill of holding space, we talk about the fix-it mentality. We don't actually know what's helping another person. I've had to have difficult conversations with partners, relationship partners, business partners, where, maybe I had to let someone go. And I've had to do this. I've had to let someone go before, and they're devastated. But who knows what me actually letting them go, what space opens up for them, and what opportunities open up for them. So me communicating my truth and my own alignment, yes, it might be painful for this other person, but we don't actually know what type of space that's going to open up for another person and what redirection it's going to put them in. So one of the biggest things to developing alignment within relationships is knowing self and other. Knowing what is self and also knowing what is the other. People pleasing is definitely a pathology of not, like, it is what it looks like when you do not have the meta skill of alignment. You are out of alignment. You are a chameleon, basically. You have no spine. Alignment is this straight line of energy within myself that if somebody pushed me, if somebody said something, if somebody did something to me in some sort of way, that I'm not going to move off my center because I know who I am. I'm so solid in myself. And I've had, try growing a movement, a business, and putting yourself out there on social media, into the world. You're gonna have to take no, you're gonna have people that say negative things about you because you're out there in the world. But if you have this meta skill of alignment, you have a greater mission, you are grounded in your body, you are connected to something that's greater than yourself, you keep your energy in your heart, you have a strong spine and an open heart. It's the precursor to developing all other meta skills. And truly, I have a pathway for it. We're gonna dive into it in the workshop on Wednesday. You can comment Meta if you just joined us. It'll send you the link to sign up. It's completely free. But the way you become more aligned is you have to go on your healing journey. That's the only way. Alignment is a byproduct of you delving into your own healing. And I think about your ability to connect with other people, your ability to attune to other people. It all has to do with your own healing, your own healing journey. And for me, I've talked about this before on a live. The 3 things that have helped me in my healing journey is commitment, even when it gets hard, even when there's hard conversations that have to be had. I'm able to really connect to myself and speak my truth no matter where I'm at. It's tough. It's not easy. And especially for those of us that grew up as empaths or people pleasers or dealt with family members that were really dysregulated or hypersensitive. We can become chameleons. We can shift our energy to appease other people. For those of us that have this sort of fawn response, it can be really tough. Commitment. It also takes grace, because your healing journey is never going to stop. We're never going to be fully aligned. We're never going to have the perfect posture. Take the pressure off of yourself. But as you continue, it's a never-ending journey. You have to give yourself grace, because you're never fully healed, but you're always healing. Your body is dying and repairing itself every day. You're going to be, you signed up for this life, and it does not stop. Every level that you get to, the more you want to expand, the deeper you have to go into yourself. Every level that I get to, I'm like, oh shit, there's you don't just get to a place where you're enlightened or you feel healed. There's levels to it, but something new will present itself that you'll have to work through. And so there's kind of a relaxation that happens when you're like, I'm gonna have to continue going through this through my whole life. Commitment, grace, curiosity. Continuing to get curious about yourself. What are my patterns? What are the ways that I'm showing up in life where I'm not congruent? We're gonna do an exercise around congruence. Congruence is one of the most important things for the health of your nervous system. Are you congruent with yourself? Are your words matching what you're feeling? And are those matching your actions? Are those also matching the story that's playing in your head? When you align all of those things, it's like the battery of your nervous system turns on and you become magnetic. You start to have an unlimited amount of chi or electricity moving through your system because you've completed the circuit. There's no breaks in the energy within your system. People can feel that. When you're around someone who's so aligned, who's on their mission, who feels the same way as they're speaking, the same thing, that the story that's playing in their head and their actions are all communicating the same thing. And we're never going to be fully congruent all of the time. It takes a lot of work. I just heard a quote from, Jordan Peterson, love him or hate him, right? I don't agree with all the things he says, but he says, the truth will be the greatest journey you ever take. The truth will be the greatest journey you ever take, because if you live by your truth, if you speak your truth, it's going to take you to some crazy places. If you're with a person and they're not the right person for you, and you don't communicate that, well, you're not living in alignment. If you do communicate that, yes, there might be a destruction. There might be a destroying of the current reality that you're facing, but it's going to take you on a journey that's more aligned for you. There's been multiple times in my life where, I worked in corporate America for a little while. I worked as an instructor for a world-renowned holistic school. I worked as a body worker. I worked as a neuromuscular therapist. At some point, humans get in this extremist mentality of where they think that the thing that you probably think that the thing that you're doing or committing to is the thing that I have to do for the rest of my life. Most people don't take action or start studying something because it's like, oh my God, am I going to do that for the rest of my life? No. If it's in alignment for you right now, follow it as deep as you can go. Follow it as deep as you can go. And then, but are you listening to your internal sensation when it's not in alignment for you anymore? And then at that point, you have to communicate that, especially in relationship. I work with a lot of people. I get a lot of sessions around my own stuff because I have my own patterns as well. Within relationship, like some people hold themselves back from love. You hold yourself back from exploring a connection with another person because you think if I can't see myself with this person for the rest of my life, then okay, maybe I won't do it. And you stifle yourself from exploring different connections because we have this extremist mentality of like, it's going to be for the rest of my life. If it's in alignment for you right now, open up to it, explore it. And can you continue to listen to your internal knowing and develop the relationship to your internal alignment that when it's no longer in alignment for you, you will communicate that. And then life will take you on another journey. Your truth, your alignment is the greatest journey you will ever take. If you're feeling anxiety right now, anxiety is a byproduct of not being in alignment. Sometimes depression as well. If you are like, the times that I've felt anxiety is when I am pushing something down that I'm feeling and I'm not making a decision based on how I'm actually feeling. I'm not making a decision based on my truth and my knowing, and I keep pushing it down, but it keeps wanting to bubble up. Anxiety is an intelligent response. It's an intelligent response to you not listening to yourself. Let's see, Raw Mama Nature said, I don't agree with exploring many relationships, to be honest. I'm not saying exploring many relationships. I'm not an advocate for like polyamory. I do believe in monogamy. I do believe in a committed relationship and going to the depths with one person. That's my personal belief. That's what I feel inside, and that's my truth. I know plenty of people that do the opposite. I'm talking about if you are single and you are holding yourself back from like being open and exploring love with a person, because you might think that has to be for the rest of your life. or there's other traumas that are keeping you kind of closed off, I think it's important for you to open up, if it's in alignment for you in that moment, for you to be present and in that moment and not be forward into the future so much and thinking about all of the different things, but to be able to explore that right now, because you could be exploring a relationship with someone and maybe that is absolutely in alignment for you right now, and maybe it's not later on. We have an issue with endings in our culture, with saying goodbye. We have an issue with death. Like, we think when people die, like that's the end, or that they like, I heard someone say the other day that this person lost the battle to cancer, which is highly unfortunate. But death is a part of life. And it's just, for me, and this is my belief, it's just a completing the cycle to begin another cycle. That's my perspective. But we have an issue with endings, and we have an issue with creating destruction. And when you are in alignment with yourself, you might actually have to create some ruptures with different people, places, and things, boundaries. You might have to tell people no to maintain your own alignment within yourself. And that's really hard. It's been really hard for myself as someone who is a people pleaser, is highly sensitive. I look at, as far as the audience of somatic release, most of us are healers. Most of us are very sensitive humans. Most of us are very intuitive. Most of us have really solid MetaSkills, but maybe they might actually be overused or underused. And so within alignment is the foundation, and that requires you to develop the ability to connect to yourself and distinguish yourself from another person. I started this off with, do you ever feel like you get enmeshed in another person and can't hear the internal voice of your own heart when you're with another person? And then do you have the ability to put that into words? It goes from somatic awareness, knowing what the story that's playing in my head, what my heart is saying, what my emotions are saying, and also what is my physical body communicating right now. Do I have connection to those things? And it is not easy to develop that connection in our world. I talk about it, but it's a whole different thing to live it. And it takes training yourself to know, what state is my body in right now? Am I in a state of fight or flight? Am I in a state of fawning? Am I connected to my emotions? What am I feeling right now? 90% of the world, I'd say 95% of especially the West operates 100% from their mind, and they are completely disconnected from their emotions and what they're feeling. And so they have no idea how to tell another person how they're feeling. Like, developing this awareness and then putting it into words, like imagine if we lived in a world where I knew what I'm feeling, and I could tell you, and I could be vulnerable with you, and then you could tell me how you're feeling, and you could be vulnerable. And then what happens from that? That creates trust. That creates a strong, energetic attunement between me and you. And that is what the world needs, is integration, less separation, less disconnection, less isolation, more connection. And I've said this multiple times, this is from Thomas Hubel as well, as emotions are the connective tissue of life. They bring us together. And if I'm harboring it and I'm pushing it down and I'm not aware of it, then it's going to be really hard for me to connect to another person. So I've rambled a lot. I hope these words land for some of you. Let me see here. I choose destruction every time over misalignment. It is so much better to think about yourself. Would you rather hear an uncomfortable truth from somebody, or would you rather hear a beautiful lie? from someone. I think about myself, I'd rather hear an uncomfortable truth all day. But why do we do the opposite? Why do we not tell people the truth? Because we don't know how to align ourselves. We don't know how to be honest. The truth, love everyone and tell the truth, right? The truth will be the greatest journey that you ever take. Radical honesty. And that takes a deep connection to yourself. We're going to be doing some exercises on this. We're going to go over all the because underneath the MetaSkill of alignment, there is congruence, there is presence, there is witness consciousness, there is aligning your attention with your intention. This is kind of a test for me, and it's been things that I've been sitting with for a long time, that are deeper than just the techniques that I teach as far as somatic breathwork goes. But I almost want to call it like How to Human 101. I've said that about the training multiple times. But yeah, you can comment Meta if you want to join. I'm really excited to see you all there. Thank you for sharing, Ingrid. I allow my teenage son his radical truth, and it's an awesome experience. The truth will be the greatest journey you ever take. It's so worth living a life that's in alignment for you. You see, another aspect is, how many of you have ever heard of the idea of the golden handcuffs? Have you ever heard of the idea of the golden handcuffs? I'll give you an example. Golden handcuffs is, say you have a 9-to-5 job, you make good money, you have all the benefits, all the things. You have an employer that it's a good job, but it's not what your soul is asking for. It's not what you are here. It's not your mission of what you're doing in this lifetime. Well, staying in that job or staying in that situation, or maybe it's a relationship that's not actually aligned for you, that's the golden handcuffs. It's good. It's good, but it doesn't make you feel alive. Aliveness is the goal of any of these healing practices, is the goal of any therapeutic practice. You should be following your aliveness more than anything. Aliveness is the thing that when you are living in alignment, you will feel fully alive. Life force, the animating force of life, the breath, your pulsation of cerebral spinal fluid up and down your spine that bathes all of the sutures in your cranial bones and goes down each vertebrae of your spine all the way to your sacrum. That pulsation of cerebral spinal fluid, you could call your energetic breath. That is the pulsation of your aliveness. Cranial sacral therapy, this person knows. I studied it in depth for a long time. It was one of my favorite modalities I would do with people. I just did a yoga class. My spine is pulsing. Follow your aliveness. And to follow your aliveness, you have to be aligned. You have to be in truth. You have to be in congruence, present with yourself. And then, okay, so I'll give you a little overview of what the journey of these MetaSkills are going to be. Alignment is first. It's the prerequisite for everything. And then we'll move into attunement. How do I attune to another person? How do I host another person? I was just talking to a friend who just went through a pretty intense breakup not that long ago. And they wanted to have a conversation. Actually, I'm friends with both of them. They wanted to have a conversation around how much pain there was around it. And what I could feel from both people is all they wanted was this person to be able to host the pain that this person is feeling. And this person wanted this person to be able to host the pain that they're feeling. Can you host another person? Whether it's their bliss, like if you have a friend that just, created a business and had an amazing win that they just had? Can you host within yourself the excitement for them? You'll know when you have really incredible friends and you're surrounded by people that like really care about you, because they'll spend energy attuning to you and they'll host you exactly where you're at. You can feel that this person is feeling you. We want to be felt. Attunement is we use this word being seen and heard, which is like, that's baseline level. We can look at a person, I can hear them, but we want to be felt. Right now, if you're listening to this, you're probably attuning to me. I utilize this little example right now. Let's play a little example. Like, I am happening right now inside of your nervous system. I'm happening right now inside of your nervous system. You're watching this, you're taking the video in through your eyes, you're hearing what I'm saying, it's going to your brainstem, and depending on how much ability you have to host, it's either going down your spine and throughout all of your nerve plexi, your chakra system, your nerve bundles, your nerve ganglia. It's going in, and it's either being held by you, or if I'm not really attuned to somebody, I'll see it, I'll hear it, and we use the term, it goes in one ear and out the other ear. That means I'm not attuning to this person. And attunement is the thing that people want more than anything. It's the basis of how your developmental process as a child, and how you are given the love and care from your parents. And it will give you a lot of your patterns later on, whether you're seeking love or seeking validation from other people. Like, depends a lot of the times on how much your parents like attune to you and your needs. And when you have people that don't attune to you, what happens is you start to just feel like you are inside of somebody else's world that they're creating. And then what happens is you start to feel like, well, what I say doesn't matter and what I do doesn't matter, and so I can just like litter and do all kinds of other stuff, or what I'm saying is I'm not necessarily, or whatever I say is not going to affect this person. It's the disconnection. Attunement is the integration between people. It's the integration, it's the reconnection. If trauma and stress, which we're experiencing collective trauma like a lot, is a disconnect from the true self, then healing is an integration. And I believe that this happens on a micro to macro level. Within yourself, if you can bring yourself back into alignment, if you can reintegrate. A lot of people think that integration is something that I'm doing after the session, which is great, but integration actually just means healing. Healing is a reconnection, is an integration, is a reconnect to all of the parts of yourself, is the alignment of your congruence within yourself. And then the integration between other people is the second part, is the relational dynamic. And then it moves into global, right? We're weaving the web of ourself back together in connection with the symbiotic relationship of life, with nature, with the planet. Healing is an integration. Our main purpose here is to commune. It's first to commune to ourself. The root word of commune is connect, right? Then we communicate. We want to be in communion with our mind, our body, and our emotions. That's alignment. So that I can now communicate with other people, so that I can be in community together, because we're tribal beings, we're mammals. Our emotions are the patterns that have been passed down for our social survival. Emotions are the social survival mechanisms that we've inherited in our nervous system. We didn't develop them. We were born into the world with emotions. They've been developed for thousands of years. They are the push and pull that push people away and bring people together. It is the integration. So I'm excited. I'm jazzed up about it. I don't know if you all are interested in MetaSkills. Like, this is just something that I'm fascinated in and has helped me tremendously. I would love to hear from you all if MetaSkills are something that you're interested in. It truly, like, when I sit with somatic breathwork, it's not about breathwork. It's about developing body intelligence through the education of MetaSkills for ourselves and other people. And that's what I'm the most fascinated in, but maybe other people are not. I don't know. So it's going to be a test. I'm really excited. I'd love to see you all there. You can comment Meta here. You can message us the word Meta. And let me see. I'll play another little song for you guys. I don't have my guitar, but I'll play this for you. It's on the 21st, Wednesday, 11 a.m. PST. Put Meta in the chat. The link's in our bio. I love you all, and I will see you so soon. Thank you for being the most incredible, supportive community out there. My heart goes out to you. I love you so much, and I will see you on Wednesday. So there will be no live on Instagram. The live will be on Zoom. So make sure you sign up. Thank you, Lineska. Bye. I hope you guys have an incredible week. Happy Valentine's Day. Do something for yourself, to give love to yourself. Do something for another person. Call someone and tell them that you love them.